Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Have you ever trusted somebody with a really big project and then they let you down? And there was a part of you going, I knew it. I just knew that it wasn't going to work out. Or have there been times when you took it all on yourself because you felt like you couldn't trust anybody else? You burnt yourself out before you could get finished. And then at the very end, you had people step in and go, well, we were here. We would have helped. And then they actually get you across the finish line. Ugh. And you could have had that assistance all along. So what happens when your intuition lies to you? When can you trust it? That's the one thing that I want you to be able to get out of today is when should you trust your intuition? When will it lie to you? That's basically not what I meant versus I'm going to own the outcome. Who am I to assist you with this next level of leadership? Dawn Ferguson, if you're new to my world, I'm a certified hypnotist, certified instructor. I train others to do this, and a rapid results coach. A bunch of fancy initials behind my name. What it means is I know how to get you from where you want to be to where you want to go as quick as possible, same day results. And that's what I want you to get from today. You should be able to start trusting your intuition to tell you the truth today. Because up to this point, chances are your intuition has been programmed to lie to you. Ooh, why? Because your intuition was developed, 80% of it before age 8, based on could you trust the others in your environment to assist you with bringing yourself out at your very best? And chances are, no, you couldn't because they were looking at you as far as not your brilliance, but how could you make their life better? As a little kid, what did you need to do for them to feel like they had a level of certainty, they had a level of freedom, they had a level of worthiness, and they had a level of validation? And it's called the human condition. All of us go through it. So we're then programmed to meet the needs of others. And if there's something about ourselves that doesn't fit those needs, we are taught to suppress it or repress it. And then we spend the rest of our adult lives bringing those pieces out of the shadow and deeming them acceptable and putting ourselves back together. So what you're going through isn't exclusive to just you. All of us experience it, but what is up to you is your unique area of brilliance. See, there's some area of life where you're supposed to be leading. I don't know if it's with your family or at work, maybe in your business. It could be a hobby, but there's an area of leadership where you have untapped potential. You're showing others how to do life in this area. And that's one of the reasons why you are so frustrated at this point, is because you're not able to bring that potential to the surface and actually get it to work for you, because your intuition keeps telling you that it is not going to work out because it didn't work out before. But it didn't work out before based on who others needed you to be, not who you really were. Okay. By the way, if all of this makes sense to you, go over to my website, drewdawnferguson.com. You're going to see where you have the ability to sign up for a no-charge hypnosis audio that will begin to assist you in bringing out who you really are. It's not going to get you the resolution, but it's going to get you the beginning steps. Remember, I want you to have results today. You've already waited too long on this. Okay, so we know why your intuition has not been working for you. Your intuition has been based on how others needed you to be for them to feel okay. And there's a key component right there. I was talking to someone just a few days ago who said, I'm really having challenges with what's known as the law of attraction because I just can't get into the feeling of it. And that is one of the ways that we've been lied to, that you need to get into the feeling. No. The feeling comes about after you've taken the actions to earn the feeling. You don't feel it and then you do it. That is for sheeple who need to be told what to do. And if you are in my world, that's not you. So instead, you have to earn those emotions by implementation, by taking action. We have three types of action. We have tension avoiding, pleasure producing, and goal achieving. Tension avoiding is actually needed about 10% of your day where you're just zoning out, you're letting go of the stress, tension, and strain. Guess what? Tension avoiding should come towards the end of your day. 10% of it. But yet, studies show us again and again that over 80% of people engage in tension avoiding activities all day long. They don't want to have that difficult conversation with their coworker. They don't want to have the challenge with the teenager whenever they get home. They don't want to tell their partner that they're just not meeting their expectations. And so your intuition goes off of your actions, not how you feel. And because you're avoiding taking the actions that are difficult, because maybe you don't know how to get the results that you want. This is the difference between, well, that's not what I meant. That's not the type of life I wanted to live. And I'm owning the outcome. You have to own the outcome. Now, maybe that means you need to pair up with somebody who can assist you through this challenge. It's not a problem. It's a challenge because it's asking you to be stronger in who you really are, bringing yourself out at your very best. So you might need assistance, or maybe you don't. Maybe you just need to move into the implementation and make it happen. But over 80% of people avoid tension all day long. And this is the reason why they're not living the life that they desire, because they're looking for short-term emotions instead of long-term success. And success is not sustainable when it's built on your emotions. Success is only sustainable when it is built on implementation, the right actions at the right time for the right results. So I told you that you are going to start getting results today. That means that there's something that you've been avoiding. You need to take action on it today. Then there's pleasure producing actions. These are how we pat ourselves on the back. This is the reward we get for going into that situation that creates a high level of conflict. And people don't want to engage in conflict, but conflict is what makes you stronger. Not conflict where you have to beat the other person or the other party or the other position to a pulp. Conflict where you're going, I'm going to engage you with this and we're going to find a result that works for everybody. And if we can't find that result that works for everybody, then we need to part ways. Okay. Pleasure producing is how you pat yourself on the back for moving into that action. By the way, if you've joined me live, you can ask questions about any of this at any time. Okay. So you're moving into that action and now you pat yourself on the back. You don't get the rewards until you've done that. So 10% of your day should actually be patting yourself on the back. Remember, tension avoiding, zoning out and going, oh my gosh, I just need to recoup after what I did. But yet people will pervert it to, no, I can't even go into what I should be doing. Pleasure producing is the rewards you get for moving into the situation, 10%. Anytime you go more than 10%, you're not doing pleasure producing. You are doing dysfunctional tension avoiding. You're doing dysfunction of, I need to reward myself, but the reward is not congruent with the action that you took. And this is how addictions, or let me say compulsive behaviors, get set up. And then we have goal achieving. One of the myths that we have about goal achieving is, follow your bliss. There's nothing that feels good when you're truly goal achieving, because you are pushing yourself further than what you did yesterday. Leaders know this. Leaders know they're never satisfied. Whoa, yeah, hey, I got the reward. Next. They have fulfillment, but the satisfaction is very short term. But people who cannot trust their intuition, because it's based on their feelings, not their action, are being led around by their feelings that, well, if I'm going after this, it should feel good. No, a true leader knows that we don't enjoy what we have to do as far as pushing ourselves every single day. But we are absolutely wrapped up in the results, because the world is better when we're better. And we have integrity that we walk our talk. All right. So when should you trust your intuition? When you continually implement every single day to go further than you were yesterday. And whatever area of life you're supposed to be leading in, that is the area where you need to be asking yourself, what is the one thing that I can do today that is actually going to have me owning the outcome that I want, instead of, that's not what I meant. That wasn't my intention. Just last week, I have a leader that I work with that has a really big project they're working on, and they brought in someone to assist them with it, and that person wasn't able to follow through. And so they fired the person from that project. They didn't say, hey, you can't assist me, but you're not going to assist me with that project. And a leader, again, cannot be led around by their feelings, because their feelings would tell them, well, is that what that person meant? Was that their intention? Oh, let's give them another chance. Maybe you should give them another chance, but you need to be looking at, do they consistently implement in a way where they own their outcome? Now, what was interesting is the person that got fired reached out to me, because they've also worked with me in a short-term capacity, and said, well, that wasn't what I meant. That isn't how I wanted it to turn out. Do you think she'll give me another chance? And I said, I'm not quite sure. Let's focus on bringing you out at your very best. Because when you hear somebody say, that wasn't my intention, what that tells me is they're not owning the outcome. Because when you're a leader, you either say, hey, that wasn't my intention. How do we move forward? What is it that you need? Or that wasn't my intention. Maybe I need to apologize for what I did. Or that wasn't my intention, but you know what? It doesn't bother me. I'm moving on. You won't find many leaders that apologize very often, because they're too focused on, how do we keep moving forward? Let me earn your respect. Let me earn that I'm sorry by my actions of making it better. So where do you need to start walking your talk? Okay. So I said there were 3 types of actions that will hold you back on your intuition. Also on your intuition, what will hold you back is the story that you tell yourself. We are the only creatures that we know of that attach stories to everything. And stories are simply meaning. So when you experience an emotional state, you ask yourself 3 questions within 1,000th of 1 second. It happens so fast that you don't even think about it. It's faster than you blink your eye. You ask yourself, what does this mean? What does this mean about me? How do I avoid or amplify it? And when you're dealing with someone that is having a challenge with their intuition lying to them, that's because they are somewhere on the trauma triangle of, what does this mean? What does this mean about me? I'm either a victim, I'm either this hero or the savior, or they've made me out to be a bully that I'm not. Just yesterday, I tried to tag somebody, a family member, on Facebook on something, and I noticed they weren't anywhere there. Now, it had been a few days since they had responded to some of my text messages. I'm like, okay. So I took just about 5 minutes, poked around a little bit, and I came to one of 2 conclusions. Either they've deleted their Facebook account or they've blocked me. Okay. So now I'm going to reach out to them and go, hey, what's up? I'm owning the outcome. And by the way, the hey, what's up was either you've deleted your account or you blocked me. Either way, I hope it leads you to having a better day, because I didn't mean it to make me part of the trauma triangle. No, I'm too busy moving forward. I'm not playing a victim. I'm not playing a bully. I'm not playing a hero. And by the way, it had nothing to do with me. And even if it did have something to do with me, I would own that outcome. And then I'd be going, how do we move forward? So what's the story that you continually tell yourself, depending on who you talk to? There's anywhere between 700 and 4,000 different types of emotional states. For most people, they go through 10. It is the 10 they were conditioned by age 8 to experience. And out of those 10, 8 are negative. 2, I'm not going to call them positive, because positive mindset is more BS, belief system, that will hold you back. Not positive, progress emotions. So we either have negative emotions or we have progress emotions. And so look at the stories that you continually tell yourself. This is the reason why your intuition is operating through a fog and can't tell you what's really going on, because you keep repeating the same story with the same emotions that lead to the same avoidance actions. And then after that, we have what's known as the mental level. By the way, I'm working through what's known as your pyramid of power, also known as an identity upgrade. Most people just try to change the physical level, but you also have to be able to optimize those emotions, because the fear is not going to go away. You have to be able to convert that fear into extra energy for success. We have 3 types of fear. We have fight, we have flight, we have freeze. You keep freezing in the same story. Maybe there are times you should avoid the situation or avoid people. That is flight. But what about fight? What about getting in there and going, I will not be denied? So the fear can show up all at once, but it is not going to keep me from the hard conversations, the hard actions, and the hard focus on what it needs, what life needs from me to be a leader. Because in case you haven't missed it, we are missing this in a lot of areas right now. People are sitting around waiting to be told there's an area of life where you need to be modeling what it is that brings people out at their very best. There's an old adage that says, I can't hear what you're saying, because your actions speak louder than your words. Your actions in that area need to be showing people this is what it means to own my results. I may not like where I'm at, but I am so invested in where I'm going, and I'm going to find everything in my environment to make it happen. Okay, so on the mental level, you're going to have beliefs. Beliefs are not at the surface. You don't know what you believe. Then you have what you focus on, and then you have your thoughts. Thoughts are simply symptoms. You have 40 to 60,000 of them. Take out 8 hours for sleep, and you're going to find you basically have one thought every single second. And your powerful subconscious mind, where your intuition is held, is going, well, what do you want me to act on? Because your thoughts change so rapidly. Well, it's going to be based on your focus. But is your focus dependent on where you're going, or is your focus what's based on what someone else wants you to be for them to be okay? It takes 91 days of continual focus, of upgrading the meaning on your story, and continual implementation before you have earned the right for the leader identity. But to do that, you have to get to the lies that you've accepted about the truth that have then turned into the beliefs that you have about what you can accomplish. And then you're going, okay, but Dawn, you said that beliefs aren't up at the surface. No, this is the reason why I utilize hypnosis, is to bring those up to the surface, not to get rid of them. Once you've accepted something, it will always be there. You know, you can be addicted to alcohol, or you can be addicted to helping others bring themselves out at their best without having to numb themselves out anymore. I know that through firsthand knowledge. See, you're always going to have compulsive behavior around something, but is it compulsive for bringing you out at your very best? Or are you continuing to numb yourself out because you don't know how to move into an identity upgrade? Okay, so you need to get to those beliefs, but you need to give them a new focus. The thoughts aren't going to change. The thoughts are still going to be there. Who are you to do this? Really? You haven't followed through in the past. The thoughts are there. I call them the itty bitty shitty committee. You know why they're there? They're saying, prove it to us. Finally, we need somebody that we can trust. Can we trust you? That's what your itty bitty shitty committee is asking you, but it's doing it in the form of a challenge. When it shows up and goes, yeah, who are you? It's wanting you to come back and go, let me show you who I am. And I'm going to take you along for the ride. Because when you get better, the world gets better. Okay. Look at the actions you're taking. Look at the story you're telling yourself. Look at the focus that you have. Know that it's not your fault what you've achieved up to this point that you feel like has been holding you back because you were programmed and conditioned to make life happen for somebody else. And this is why your intuition lies to you, because your intuition was based on the intention of others. And now we need to quit basing it upon intention. Instead, start basing it on implementation. On what are your strengths, your talents, and your abilities. And you do that with your focus, and you begin to give those beliefs a new meaning in your life. You optimize the emotions, and every single day you ask yourself in your area of leadership, what do I need to do today that is going to push me out of that familiar zone into growth? It's not going to feel good while I'm doing it. But when I'm done, that's when I've earned the right to feel good. If I can assist you with this, reach out to me. 636-699-7791. You can either call me, you can send me a text that says I want to consult with Dawn. You can go to my website, canhypnosishelpyou.com, and see some knowledge-based facts as far as how hypnosis can help you. Whether you decide to work with me, one of my associates, or someone else, you have to do it where you can begin to trust yourself again. And you are going to be your biggest challenge to yourself, because you haven't earned the right just yet to feel good about who you are. Everybody's like, oh, increase your self-esteem. Self-esteem comes through continually implementing in the area of your leadership. We have to earn the right. And when you haven't earned the right, that's when you try to cover it up with food or drink or too much social media or pointing the fingers at others and going, you're wrong. And the only reason why you're doing it is because you haven't been able to move through the old programming for that previous identity. Start stripping off the layers and reveal the real you. I'd be honored if I could be the one to assist you with it. That's not what I meant versus owning the outcome. Start owning it today. You're where you're at because you were programmed and conditioned for it. It's never going to get any better until you own who you really are. All right, go out and make the world a better place because you're better.